Okay. Now I'm hydrated. Ready to go back in. Paradise Killer.
Paradise Killer.
Is my... Hang on 1 second here. Why does it feel that my mouse is slower than yesterday now? Maybe not. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. At this point, I'm just going crazy. Okay, so... plans for today. Well... First of all... I have to finish collecting... Oh yeah, I forgot. Hang on. Me and that specific heart, we have a problem. Oh my god. Alright. So, where was it? It's right there. I had a bad fall yesterday. It really pushed me over the limit. I don't even know how to get in there, you know? Because of the way the game keeps my momentum, even if I dash into the window, it's gonna still slide me towards the ground, because that's the direction I literally have to go. So I'm wondering if there's another way to do it. Like another ledge that I can grab onto. You don't need to. Oh boy, alright.
Relic obtained.
A tremendous game card. A shooting game called Wanton 51, made by a long defunct company. Ooh. Oh man, look at that. There's one heart over there, which is the weird one I couldn't find inside that place. One on the roof there. Couple on top of the dead zone, which we are going to go to in a moment. First of all, first order of the day, we need to speak to Lydia a little bit more. Now that we have all that we got from Sam, I think it's time to talk to Lydia again.
Lydia Daybreak.
Hang out first, you know? Maybe she will get close and she'll tell me something.
Let's go for a drive, LD.
Jacket doesn't smell too bad. But into your charmer, LD. Ever thought about replacing it? You're out of your mind. You never replace a battle jacket. It becomes part of your life, part of you. It's been millennia. And it will be millennia more. What are you painting at the moment? Abstract stuff. This island has existed for centuries. What does it mean to me? That kind of thing. I'd like to see them. I'd learn something more about you. I'll paint something that represents you, LD. What represents me? I'm thinking about it. Must be a hard island to paint. Why? This island is unsettled. You can feel it. Nothing is right. I hear you. This place needs to end. It's needed too for a while. Beach okay again, LD? Perfect. LD, I have something I think we should discuss. Oh yeah? It's probably nothing, LD. Nothing is probably something. K-Man is missing, right?
It's
Sorry,
complicated.
KHX. Yeah, he is.
It's
He's dead,
complicated.
actually. This probably has nothing to do with it, but I liked hanging with K-Man, so I want to tell you. The other day, Yuri started freaking out in the HQ. Totally went off at one of the assistants.
Don't test me.
How does this relate to KHX? He was looking for his ring. It's a nice ring that he commissioned from KHX. Oh yeah? Like a blue sapphire ring? This ring by any chance?
I'm messing with you.
That's the one, LD. The big blue sapphire looks good, right? Too flashy. Not my kind of thing. It's too flashy. I forgot all about the red, huh?
Huh?
Where did you find it? Sorry, Lydia. Investigator secret, but between you and me, on freaking KHX dead hands. I was yelling at the assistant. Yuri was lashing out. He'd lost the ring and was going berserk about it.
The island feels
You think this is
bad,
relevant?
LD.
I want to help K-Man, you know? I think it is. Thanks, Lydia. I would really like to know how KHX death... You know, why is it important for the rest of the story? What happened to him? It has to be connected, right? What do you know about the murder of Gray's bloodlines? Not a thing, LD. Alright. Sorry to ask this, Lydia, but I need you to tell me about the last job you did. You mean moving us to the next island? No. Regime change in Europe before the Syndicate. Who the hell told you about that? Wait, it was acid, wasn't it? Does this have to do with the council murder? The murder has all the hallmarks of a regime change.
If you can prove it, sure.
Give me a break, LD. Me and Sammy were assassins. We did assassin shit. It was the last job we had to do to buy our freedom. It was millennia ago, a different epoch. There's nothing to do with last night. I had to ask. No, you didn't. I literally had to. So how about those tire tracks, huh? Next to the obelisks? What are your tire tracks doing up on the cliff overlooking the obelisks?
Weird.
Why do you want to know? They hold the secret to the second holy seal, and I found tire tracks putting you there.
Good talk, LD.
LD. I go all over the island. It's a nice view there. So you didn't go there to access the obelisks? Nope. Oh yeah? Just enjoying the view, huh? Okay, next. I have to go there. We need to talk to Akiko and we need to talk to Henry. Get the save code. Ask Akiko about Carmelina as well. You know, allegedly, Carmelina asked Akiko to step away from the room where Henry then murdered the chief exorcist. This Bloodlines, also known as One Last Kiss. Speaking of, she is something. I have never spoken to her this entire playthrough, huh? Maybe we should do that. I don't know.
Henry Division.
Alright, Henry. Let's talk, Henry. What now?
Sure.
What is it like living as a citizen on the island? Just swell. Don't stop praying and working. In school when you were possessed. You'll get an education. Most of us don't need it. Just going to be put to work down in the caverns. Some get cushy office jobs, but the rest of us slave away.
I'm shocked. Stunned.
Maybe you fucks would resurrect your gods faster if any of us gave a shit. Kidnapping and enslaving people really isn't the way to get a crowd enthused about the prospect of reviving monsters from the other side of the cosmos. Whatever. So... Did you see Lydia and Sam last night? Who the fuck are they? Alright. Did you see the Grand Marshal last night?
Whatever you fucking say.
Of course I saw her. She was supposed to execute me, right? I don't remember a fucking thing, but that's what was supposed to happen, right? Yeah. Know anything about demons on the island? Besides me?
Are you
No.
fucking kidding me?
Alright, dude, chill. Alright. Alright, that's the big one. What can you tell me about the murder of Grace Bloodlines? I killed her, didn't I? Or found guilty of it.
Not a fucking thing.
Then why the fuck are we talking? You know I did it. Well, did you? Guilty conviction and the truth are not the same thing. If I'm the suspect in so many crimes, I must be the bad guy, right? That's what I'm here to find out. Also, you really did not answer the question. Henry has no memory of killing Grace Bloodlines. Oh yeah? So Henry has been accused of multiple murders and has no memory of any of those. Alright. Got a locked safe in your apartment. Can I get into it? Get fucked, investigator. Really now? Alright. I was not expecting that. Is he still possessed? I think he's possessed, but the inhibitors are keeping the demon at bay. Did you go through the bloodlock in the council building? What does the one in the armor say? Akiko, did you kill the council so you went through all the holy seals? There you go then. No memory?
The investigator is here.
Found your blood on the lock. That puts you at the scene.
Not a fucking thing.
Then why are you asking me? Question. Do you know anything about your father? What do you think? He wasn't around when I was born. Did your mother know him? I think so. She would never talk about him. I think she loved him. Was scared of talking about him. Find my father. I know who your father... Cut the inhibitors? I don't think I can cut them. They're like pills. I mean... I don't know if these are the inhibitors or...
Got it. What the hell? That's weird.
Stop giving him pills. I wish I could.
Entering division.
Henry, do you know the name Aiz Kiwami? Never heard of him. Is he my dad? Looks like it. Is he a good man?
Sorry.
He, took his own life a few years ago. I'm sorry.
Whatever you fucking say.
Fucking perfect.
The demon wants to see
At least he
this
doesn't
island
know what his son did.
scorched into nothing.
Allegedly
Whatever
did.
you fucking say.
What fucking ever. So... Didn't give me the code. Akiko?
Grand Marshal Akiko 14.
Wait a minute. You're going to die. Oh no, I remember this one. That's why I don't want to talk to this person. Humor me.
I'll kill you!
Shenaiba Vrei? I'm not gonna pull the freaking translator again. I'm just gonna ignore whatever she says.
Got it.
Why did you become a soldier? What is this? What are you doing? Trying to get to know you. Listen, bitch. I'm waiting to execute this wanker, not have a therapy session. Alright. Do you want a therapy session? I didn't mention therapy. Try and trap me. You know what I meant. I just want to know about your military background. Surely that's not too much to ask. Bine, această femeie este un cosmar. Oh, of course, yes. My parents died in the wars when I was 9. I was orphaned into the army of New Knight. I'm a child soldier, mastering guerrilla warfare. At 13, I led an insurgency through my home country. We should love a damned harmony out of my country. No, my lover. You were deceived by him and nearly allowed him to destroy the syndicate. Now here I am talking to you and wishing I was dead. We can arrange that. You like killing? I'm not a murderer. I'm a soldier. I'm gonna piss her off. Same thing.
Freak.
The bitokul like you, maybe. What did she call? I need to know. Okay, fine. I'll pull the translator. God. What was it? Romanian? Asshole. Okay, great. Well, an asshole like you, maybe. Lives aren't everything you think they are, bitch. War changes what a life is. Point a weapon at a person and you're no longer human.
I don't like this.
So you've lost your humanity. Goodbye, bitch. Relationship increased somehow. Yo, bitch. Is there something else, Akiko? No, it's nothing. Are you sure? I need your help, Akiko. No one has anything on Lydia and Sam. Surely the head of the military keeps an eye on people? Fine, bitch. Not one for gossiping. This is a time for crisis, so I'll tell you what we know.
Ooh,
We?
the investigator is here.
The God Justice Marshals. Keep up. Marshals have told me they've seen Lydia and Sam meeting in secret at the farm.
That's
By the farm.
strange.
Rebui sate aduni. Maybe. You should get yourself together, damn it. That's your job, investigator. Fair enough. Okay. Tell me about why your necklace is in KHX workshop. You think you've stumbled onto something, don't you, bitch? At the scene of a crime? KHX made my necklace and it broke a while ago. I took it to him to get repaired before the end of the island. When was this? About a month ago. He went missing. I accepted that fate had decided that the necklace wasn't supposed to go to the next island. Important to let things go. You haven't been to his workshop in the last few days? There are slightly more important things to do at the end of an island. Fair. I wonder how it broke though. Did you see Lydia and Sam last night? I had my hands full last night. I wasn't keeping tabs on the happy couple. Oh god, whoa, 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 that was too much. Oh man, that's so much, okay. Harry's exorcism 10 years ago, you left Grace Bloodlines alone with him. I just discovered something. It turns out you're not the only one that had audio stuff reset overnight. Oh yeah? So it is OBS. It wasn't my fault, for once. Was it like an update or something? I think I saw patch notes at some point in the last couple of days, so maybe it updated secretly. Or maybe it's a Windows update. I updated Windows yesterday. I mean, a Windows update could also explain all these things. Anyway, yeah, you left Grace Bloodlines alone. It was my audio equalizer. Oh, I see. Interesting, very interesting. Did you also update Windows last night? Hang on. Does that mean I have to test it? Does that mean that the old equalizer is better now? Okay. Let me know how this feels. I'm gonna just keep going with this for a little bit.
Do you want to die?
Why are we talking about this? How does this relate to the council murder? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Nenorochito!
Yes, I made a mistake.
Don't test me.
This seems to be a pattern. That's good now. Alright. Carmelina's message. Tell me about the message you got from Carmelina on the day of Henry's exorcism. What message? Carmelina sent you a message telling you to leave Grace alone with Henry. No, she didn't. I have a copy of the message. Someone's giving you false evidence, bitch. The architect was there that day, but she didn't tell me to do anything. She doesn't have authority over me. Then why did you step out of the room? I considered the scene and prisoner secure. I needed to make sure that the architect was safe. Corrupted areas are full of danger. Yeah, right. You know anything about the third Holy Seal? I know this wanker went through it and killed the council. He couldn't have. He didn't have access to the fourth seal, I don't think. Know anything about demons on the island?
Rahat.
We exterminated them. Not all of them. Why didn't you let Doom just examine the dead bodies of the martial guards? There was no need. It had been carved up by the monster, who, as I keep saying, is in custody. Surely even the investigation freak can see it's an open and shut case. If it was, I wouldn't be here. Tell me about you and Voth. Captain Voth.
Do you want to die?
Makar, don't you dare speak about my marshals without proper rank. You're in a relationship with him, lady.
Ești pe bune?
Relationships between myself and the marshals is expressly forbidden. Doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Pull up.
Watch yourself. A lot of murder has happened on this island. Would anyone notice some pissed investigator going missing? What did you just call me? A twat. Okay, thanks. So, you've been asking for the marshals to be inducted, haven't you? A reasonable request? We guard these islands. You've been denied. Well, there was an incident that prompted the council to reconsider. Crime to end all crimes on the eve of Perfect 25, for example. I admire you. You believe so fully in all sorts of little stories and fantasies. It must be nice being so credulous, undaunted by the world. Is that denial then? Of course. Does your relationship with Captain Voth have anything to do with this? Bitch. Illicit relationship that got found out would be punishable.
Rahat.
I'll kill you. Careful. What you say, you know. You were found out. We're going to be punished next island for your relationships with your marshals. It gives you a clear motive. Kill the council to protect yourself. Discipline de Rahat. Oh yeah? Say? Don't like plin, whatever that is. Oh, you're full of shit, she says. Oh yeah?
Sure.
Which means you're full of shit. Don't know anything. I live with the rules. I'm a woman of honor. We'll see about that. Okay, I have learned absolutely nothing. And I still don't have Henry's code. where could we find the code? Hang on. Did I ever talk to that ghost that was on... It was on the balcony of that building yesterday? Or did I say I'll do it tomorrow and then I didn't do it today? Nope. Oh. Well, I mean... Was it... I don't even know which building that was. Was it this one? I think it's a double building, the one with the two sets of stairs going up. I think it's this one, yeah. There she is. Started here. Dragged through the building towards the ocean. Then where?
Who?
Who? Started here what? They go into the sewers? No, that doesn't make sense. They straight into the ocean. Why?
Nanny, the hell?
Nanny, the hell are you talking about? Must have left some clue. Clue to what? Huh? Oh, I didn't see you. Step aside, please. I'm trying to find my neighbor. Maybe I can help? I'm an investigator? Yes. Yes, maybe. If they were dragged to the beach, they go from there. Or out of sight. Uncovered, maybe. Undercover, maybe. Maybe I should try and help them look for whatever it is. Maybe somewhere covered on the beach. Found this under the pier. Oh boy. What? Wait, is that? It is. Finally, I have proof that my neighbor was murdered. Called Justice Marshals weren't interested in helping me. That it was an accident, but I knew it was murder. So I'll never know who did it. Suppose it doesn't really matter now, does it? Not justice, but at least I have some peace now. Please, take these. Do not let citizen murders go uninvestigated.
Blood crystal obtained.
Oh, okay. Right, so... Lydia doesn't have anything new, but I really want to talk to... that lady, and also we need to talk to Sam again. I guess the big one, though, is gonna be Yuri. So... That's this Sam. Then we do One Last Kiss, and then we do... Yuri. It's about time. Also, I'm wondering... Hang on, I'm here. I might as well. I want to look around the apartment and see if something in the environment could tell us about the code. The code is hidden somewhere. Eyes of Eden, a bunch of notebooks. Is that the code? Or maybe I need to be... I need my relationship with Henry to be higher. Need to hang out with him a little more. What's the cooldown on hanging out with people? Because so far I don't think I've been able to hang out with them more than once a stream. So I don't know if I have to maybe close the game and reopen it, save and quit, and get back in. Or if it's like a timer, I don't know, maybe an hour real time. I, 'cause Sam?
Sam Daybreak.
Fancy
Hang
a
out.
drink?
Sure. What do you recommend this time, Sam? How are you doing, LD? Dancing through the investigation. Good. How about some tsukemono and a whiskey mizuwari?
I'm glad to be
Perfect.
back.
Serving whiskey in a mizuwari style is good with food. Mixing chilled whiskey and chilled mineral water lengthens the flavor but maintains the mouthfeel. Oh yeah? I have to try that. Really taste the toffee flavor in this one, can't you? Oh. See? I love toffee. This taste reminds me of something. Remember Dead Nebula's Fine Aged Soul? A deep and complex yet delicate whiskey. One of Dead Nebula's most popular whiskies. Enjoyed it just before your exile. We had one last night in my bar before your exile. We drank this together with Lydia, didn't we? Have a good memory. It's my job to remember everything about a guest in my bar. I'm not just here to serve drinks. It is imperative that I select the right drink and make sure you leave happier than when you arrived. What's with the Japanese bar snacks? I'm from Turkey. The Japanese have perfected the art of bartending. Drinks are precise and finely crafted and made especially for each guest. That sounds very Japanese, yeah. Purpose is to hone a craft and use that to create a drink that can only exist in that moment for that guest. Other countries view drinking as a means to an end. We view it differently though, don't we, LD?
Oh, I'm glad to be back.
Something to be savored and enjoyed. Yeah, I'd love to stay, but this murder won't solve itself. Please come back, won't you? Oh, still nothing? What do you know about the... Oh, what I pushed my earphones. What do you know about the murder of Grace Bloodlines? I don't know anything, do I? Fair enough. Okay, so where is she? Lowe's? Wait, is she? Is she in the temple? Like inside the temple? Hang on. Before I go there, I know there's 2 items on top of the ziggurat. I suppose 1 item. Which is not even an item.
Fast travel unlocked. Starlight skins obtained.
I was sure it was an item.
Fast travel unlocked.
There we go.
Starlight skins obtained.
So, anything else? Oh, there are 2 items on the zig. Ah, damn it. Something all the way far away over there. There's 2 things, actually. Interesting. Look at this easy climbing. Alright, what do we have here? 1 item down there. One item over there. Is that the grate? Oh, that's a blood crystal.
Blood crystal
Fair
obtained.
enough. The other one is for blood crystals.
Blood crystal obtained.
Not that I'm running low, but you know. More the merrier. Can I access a teleportation thing? I would like to teleport directly into the ziggurat. By teleport, I mean fast travel. The ziggurat. So, is this where she is? Is she inside the graveyard? Do I have to access the gravestone again? God, the tip of my nose is so itchy, I don't know why. Ooh, hang on. Time for my little pill. Let's see. No, it's not here, but seems like it's close. Oh, there she is. There is no way that I missed this last time. I refuse to believe that I missed her. That's where the hole is. That she wasn't here before. I'm telling you.
One last kiss.
Let's hang out. Got time to chat? I have all the time in the world until the island ends. I want to ask you about being deceived by a god. You're the expert in that, aren't you, investigator? You are our exorcist. The expert in all things astral. I want to know how it happens. The victim catches the attention of a god. God begins to speak to them in their dreams. How do you think you caught the attention of a god? I was the head of the Paradise Psycho unit. Perfect target for the machinations of a god looking for power.
Laughable.
Them the Harmony saw an opportunity with you. He that would unlock the Syndicate. Wanted to kill us all. He wanted to kill us all and feed off the release the psychic energy. Mortal Syndicate have a lot of energy to give off. Might have resurrected. Was my fault in the end. I almost let it happen. Ah, do not swim in the sea of guilt, investigator. Deception is subtle and insidious. You are a victim, criminalized by the narrow minds of others. Show them their own weakness, and they were frightened.
The truth is all around you, investigator.
Stay out of the shadow of your past, investigator. You happy that we hang out? Demonology. How is a god's deception different to the illegal communication that allows demons on the island? I believe a human has the same ability to speak across the vast and infinite cosmos as a god. We are amateurs at opening the psychic pathways. The pathways are weak and easy to breach. The gods can speak across the universe without attracting the babying demonic hordes. Victims' dreams are filled with visions of the gods. Become the gods' thrall, executing their will for promises of power. Victim doesn't realize it has happened. It is subtle, insidious.
Sorry.
How it was with me.
Do you understand,
The
investigator?
Syndicate hasn't worked out how to deal with god deception yet. Actions you take at the behest of a god are criminal. You're a victim of the god. I hope that answered your question.
I'm glad to be back.
It did, thanks. How has Carmeline a demon proof to the island? Demons and gods are just alien beings from different worlds. They enter our world through psychic pathways that bridge huge distances in the universe. Traveling across a pathway breaks down the demon's form. The psychic image crosses space and gathers in a solid matter when they arrive on the island. Marshals hunt those demons down and exterminate them. Soldiers have their uses after all. When demons don't manage to assume a fully corporeal form, they soak into the physical structure of the island,
The investigator is here.
and the island becomes corrupted. The rot sets in and the island must end. Oh, interesting. So the corruption is demons that couldn't fully materialize and then they fuse with the island itself. I see. Carmelina and Masahiro Heavy Industries developed a new technique that repels this corruption. The plan is to charge the particles in our air, stopping demons from being able to latch onto the physicality of the island. The very concrete will repel the demons. Does that mean that Perfect 25 will be filled with demons floating around in the air? That's the dirty secret. Demons will still come to the island. They need somewhere to go. The next best thing to the island structure are the minds of citizens. Perfect 25 will be a hotbed of demonic possession. So Perfect 25 is not perfect at all. Human minds are malleable and porous. Like concrete, they have a certain amount of latent psychic ability. The structure of this island will be safe and permanent, but the citizens are the sacrifice being made in pursuit of perfection.
Don't test me.
Marshals will be busy,
What mysteries are around us?
and so will you if you get to reform the Paradise Psycho unit.
Sure.
That's not my priority. It will be. What was Montserrat's plan? With regards to demons?
Dreadful.
Millennia ago, he would never have gone along with Carmelina's plan. He changed. He wanted control, or rulers too. Syndicate 1 wasn't reviving gods fast enough. Struggling with the demons, a continual thorn in our sides. Carmelina's plan to block demonic corruption is flawed. It would be repelled from the island structures but would still possess our cattle. Scapegoat the citizen. Calm down fiercer on them. Nice move for an aspiring despot.
What the hell?
That isn't the Montserrat I remember. Mortality isn't a good thing. Warps the mind. Followed in the footsteps of Ezekiel. They went too far. The new island is born. We'll have to live with it. Love having something to look forward to. Okay. Oh my god, okay. Think this was all Henry?
Do you understand,
Aren't you paying
investigator?
attention? Of course I don't. I've seen people doing things. Loyal servants turn to conspirators. Someone found how to breach the council building. I was there. I saw them. Devilish plan. Who? Well, that would be far too easy. Who do you think has motive? Direct
I
investigator.
have a bad feeling about this.
It's been a long millennia. I'm a little cranky.
Who would benefit from a crime like this?
What if there were no more islands to end? That's a real good question. What happens to Witness after Perfect 25? He's out of a job. Someone wouldn't have a job to do. Also, Carmelina wouldn't have a job to do. Because there is nothing to architect anymore. Witness? And who would benefit from a crime like this? Suddenly be called upon to protect against danger.
Are you happy
Akiko?
with your truths?
And to start asking questions, investigator. You know about Akiko. You have a hammer, all you see are nails. Been trying to roll more power into her marshals.
That's strange.
Akiko wants non-military roles to be taken by her troops. I was on her list, because she saw dealing with demons only as a military problem. Exorcism shouldn't be done by soldiers, not trained for it. Akiko disagreed. So why kill the council? Scare the next council into militarizing. Create a soldier's paradise. You think that's enough for a motive? Did you see Henry while you were floating around the island last night? Did I? Didn't I? I don't want to say.
Got it.
Why? The key to the whole thing. You need to investigate it yourself. Fair enough. What can you tell me about the sigil scorched into Henry's skin? Speak in arcane tongues. A possession, the demon is screaming in rage. Victim screams in the tongue of the demon, but the noises humans are capable of making are too limited.
What mysteries are around us?
Cannot pronounce demonic languages. Don't have the vocal range or understanding. Sometimes the demon's psychic force wills the words into existence. It can take a number of forms. Telepathy, unearthly sounds, loss of visions, and so on. In Henry's case, the white-hot rage of the demon caused the sigils to be scorched on his body, but it was burned from the inside. His insides are probably destroyed. His physical form is being held together by the demon. Oh my god, poor Henry. Does these sigils affect anyone else? As he comes into contact with, will also have them scorched into them. Kind of contact. Wrong embrace. Skin needs to be pressed against another skin for several seconds. Sigils were found drawn in blood at the crime scene. Would Henry have done these?
Aren't you paying attention, investigator?
Drawing is an expression of the human mind. When you draw, you communicate something in your mind outward. Demon has already found a way to express its emotion outwards by scorching Henry's body. The demon already has a canvas. It doesn't need another one. Yeah, I mean, those sigils felt way too deliberate on the crime scene. Why are those symbols at the scene? It's for you to find out, investigator. I'm only an expert on demons, not crime scenes. Did the demon make Henry draw
The
them?
truth is all around you,
The
investigator.
demon does not control Henry. Also seem to choose how to act. See the difference? Like a boss that tells you what to do, not how to do it. Precisely. If Henry were to do that, he'd be doing it under his own volition. I don't know about you, but I can't draw characters from a language I don't understand. Oh yeah, so that means that somebody that knows about demonology would have done that? Witness or Yuri? Tell me why Witness might want to kill the council.
Do you understand, investigator?
Witness is damaged. He's whipped himself up into a religious craze. Started thinking things that shouldn't be thought about. What things? Become apocalyptic, fatalistic, convinced the end is upon us. Does a ghost know this? Before I died, he came to see me. He had questions about demons, and I was the exorcist after all. He became fixated on the idea that a sea of demons could crash upon the islands and wipe us out. Blood sent by the gods to wash away sin. We want to know from you. Are there signs to look for? Can we divine from the stars if a flood is coming? Harmless questions from someone who has the responsibility of overseeing the end of the islands. The role is to look for signs that an island is going to end, and to make sure that death and rebirth happen properly.
Those are facts.
The
But are
innocuous
they the
questions came first. They started asking about initiating a demonic invasion, or using demons as a weapon. Uh-huh. Why ask about that? Ada stood up in pretense about the warning signs of the end of an island. I'm not a fool though. You don't ask those questions unless there is a dark intent.
Sure.
What did you tell him? Demons enter the islands, how possession works, all the standard topics that everyone in the syndicate is educated on. Why was he asking? I think he was hoping for some nuance or detail that wasn't public knowledge. Didn't give anything away. Forbidden secrets that the exorcists guard. Let me ask a direct question. You think Witness was trying to use demons to cleanse the island? That I can't say. He certainly was fixated on it though. Well, he certainly used a demon. Kill the council. Or potentially kill the council at least. See Yuri last night?
Mystery awaits.
He was in the gardens, investigator, but what if there was a gap? To speak to Lydia. Do you know about the second holy seal?
Mystery awaits.
Mystery of mysteries. What is it? What's the secret? A closely guarded secret. People have found the answer. Ooh, that's too easy.
I have a bad
I'm a
feeling
busy
about
woman.
this.
You are, but the path is worth treading. I've seen things, people talking, things being discarded. Need to search behind contrivances. Who knew about the second holy seal, by the way? Sam and Lydia. Carmelina, witness. See, here's the problem with Henry. They got to the third seal, but how? Because they must have gone through second holy seal. But if he wasn't alone, because my process is that somebody was accompanying Henry. If he wasn't alone, someone else must have had the space helmet, but there is only one extra around. At the same time, all you really need is Henry's blood. He doesn't have to be there in person. Plus, there's the problem of the fourth seal. I don't think Henry could go through the fourth one. Professional opinion. Could the demon possessing Henry keep Henry alive in the depths of space? There haven't been any recorded incident of it, but the universe is a vast and mysterious place. Demon possesses a person, they fuse with them. Sometimes purely physically, sometimes only psychically. Henry's demon did both. Exerted a significant power over Henry. Enough power to allow his body to withstand a vacuum. Demons are not from our planet. They come from the most terrifying reaches of the cosmos, tuned to space in a way we can never be. Demonic races exist only as psychic shadows, navigate the edges of black holes, some bend cosmic energy into huge cities. The right demon can definitely hold a human body together while outside of the world. What about psychically feeling out and manipulating a lock on another planet? Second Holy Seal sound thrilling, investigator. Varies from race to race, but most demons understand space far better than us. They understand that the cosmos is just physical. It exists as a psychic plane as well. Some demonic races can see the psychic shape of space, can see the essence of everything and how it's linked on planes we can't comprehend.
Sure.
What are the chances of the demon possessing Henry being one that can hold his body together in the vacuum of space and psychically perceive the inner workings of a secret lock? What are the chances of a council being murdered and the exiled investigator being brought back? Him then? Need to decide what the truth is. Tell me more about what happened. I've received a call from our dear Grand Marshal. He had arrested someone that was possessed and needed an exorcism. I was meeting with architect Carmelina at the time. Meeting about what? Next island, Perfect 25. One of our obsessions has been creating structures which repel demonic corruption. She asked to come with me to view the exorcism. Is that normal? No. Understood her interest. We arrived and she inspected the scene before I started my exorcism. She left to wait outside of the apartment. Henry was secured, and Akiko stepped out of the room to speak to Carmelina. I slipped into my meditative trance to perform the exorcism. Planes of existence swirled around me. I was lost in the maelstrom with no sense of place or direction.
Dreadful.
Then, the life was being choked out of me. I have no idea who the attacker was or which direction they came from. I died, murdered. A short while later, I was floating above the island. I felt an all-consuming rage. I drifted towards the heavens, but my fury allowed me to claw my way back on the island. Now, here I am.
The investigator is here.
These islands, huh?
Aren't you paying
then you
attention,
know.
investigator?
Hang on a second, I need to check some. Did we ever find the body of Grace Bloodlines? Okay. Here's the thing. Henry's mother was strangled by Henry, leaving demonic sigils on her body. Because, as they said, demonic sigils can appear after they become... They get too close to a demon, right? To a possessed person. In the case of Grace, though, the body was scarred with the same demonic sigil, but they had been cut into her. So I am thinking that Henry did not kill Grace. Someone killed her and carved the freaking sigils to make it look like it was Henry. And the only two people there were Carmelina and Akiko. Also, Henry has no memory of killing Grace. If Henry was the killer, the sigils were not cut into her. He didn't need to cut them like it was a ritualistic thing. They would have just appeared. Wasn't him. Do you know anything about the fourth Holy Seal? I know it requires godliness to get through. Oh, everybody knows that. The spirit that can go places others can't.
Got it.
How can someone get through it? Find out how to become close to a god. What about Henry? Well, gods and demons when you get down to it. Aliens, being from the depths of the universe. How could the syndicate differentiate between a demon and a god? That's the flaw in their plan. The demon get through the god seals? Could it? I mean, we know that the demon was brought into the chamber, but... Ah, good question. If that's the case, then Harry could have easily skipped the fourth Holy Seal.
Ah.
Know anything about demons on the island? I was wondering when you'd encounter them. Them? I've seen a lot of things. Watched a lot of people do a lot of things. You heard the rumors? A secret demonology research room run by someone that it shouldn't be?
I don't like this.
I've heard them. Secret in the dead zone, but there's a problem with that, isn't there? Dead zone is off limits. You need the correct key to get in, and you'd be logged.
What mysteries are
Precisely.
around us?
What if there was another way in, though? A tunnel, perhaps? Oh. Okay, this... What tunnel? Like to drink, investigator? A nice wine on a summer's evening at the best bar in town? A stroll afterward, perhaps? Behind the bar? Exploring the world, and what do you find?
I don't like this.
Who? That's the interesting bit, isn't it? The witness going where he shouldn't.
Got it.
Anyone else? Mr. Daybreak is a very naughty boy, isn't he? Deciphering all that, Witness has been using a tunnel behind Sam Bar to get into the dead zone, so he can use the secret demonology lab. That's interesting because if Witness had the same access as Sam, then it would sort of make sense that Sam didn't know about the blood vial and all those things. Except the flesh of the god was in his own safe. That's not something the Witness could have done, right? What do you know about KHX's disappearance? Another mystery for the great investigator. I don't know what happened to him. He's still on the island somewhere. Is he? Did you see the Grand Marshal last night?
Those are facts.
Speak
But
to the
are
Grand
they
Marshal.
the truth?
If you believe her. I don't. Did you see the architect? Have you asked Witness? Convenient she was there, isn't it? See Crimson? You speak to her. See the doctor? This clinic holds a secret. Oh yeah? See Lily and Sam? Logs at the Paradise Gates will confirm several things, their alibis and their time frame. Consider the time frame, investigator. See Witness to the end last night. Witness and Carmelina spent the evening together. I wonder if that means anything. What do you know about Henry's possession 10 years ago? Was this possession when these wheels were set in motion? You should find out. If someone set him up, this was part of the plan. Someone needed to trigger the end of the island. Someone accessed the grimoires in the library. You know anything about the murder of the Marshal Guard outside the council? The council building is awash with evidence, investigator. Check everywhere. secrets does the sea hold? Are reaching for the sky. So that was the knife. And also... I guess the tire marks on the ceiling. On the roof. What do you know about Henry's escape last night?
Mystery awaits.
Everyone is lying. What about the distance and time? Have you checked that? Did Henry go through the Syndicate HQ? It'll have been logged if he did. You know anything about the third Holy Seal? Who could get through there? Special lock requires an unusual key. It does. Well, that's about it. I feel like at some point I'll have to go through literally every one of these people and try to figure out who actually could go through all the seals and how. So it seems like that is the last item. Because that is the gun. So this is the item. One last blood sigil. Blood crystal.
Blood crystal obtained.
Yeah? No, wait, there's another one. Something down there. Is that the barracks? Oh, those are the barracks, aren't they? Hang on. I need to know. How do we go through there? So this is Judge. Why not? So are these the barracks? Yes. Alright guys, I'm doing this.
Nightmare computer.
Alpha Moon and Star. Big Pyramid. Restarts.
Nightmare computer unlocked.
Okay, so I am inside the barracks. There's marshals everywhere though. I'm guessing unless I vent the demonic thing, I'm not going to be able to access whatever that is. The heart is...
This is a restricted. Get out of here.
Got it.
I'm investigator appointed by the judge. Irrelevant. Ah, they kicked me out. Stay out, freak. Yeah, I need to do that thing. Alright. First, it's been a long time coming. We absolutely need to talk to Yuri. I hate this guy, but we have to do it.
Yuri Knight.
But then to chat, Yuri?
What business is it of yours?
What now? Seem to be ambitious. Is that a statement or a question? Are you like this? Like what? Don't be arrogant, Yuri, you know what? I just want people to use language correctly when addressing their betters. Uh-oh. What do you mean by betters? I am now secretary to the leader of the syndicate. Temporary leader. Maybe. It certainly makes me have a higher station than an exiled freak. That does not make you a better person. Had to sneeze. That may be, though. Do you think he's an accomplice to Carmelina? Is this all made by Carmelina to get in the council permanently?
Freak.
The lower class often use that argument. If that were the case, why am I in a position of power and respect and you're not? Respect is something you earn. Power isn't always a positive quality.
Pathetic.
Platitudes of the jealous.
Ooh, the investigator is here.
Maybe life isn't about status and acquiring power. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Goodbye, freak. Enchanted Blue is secured by god hunters in the real world. She's in the pyramid hidden in the caverns in the Sahara. Syndicate exists to resurrect the gods. Can we sit idly by when a goddess is in the hands of the enemy?
The investigator is here.
Bringing her would be a suicide mission. You're familiar with deception by gods, right? Like you, disgraced freak. I haven't been deceived. That's a crime. Future councillors can't commit crimes, can we? How did you go through such a big transformation? Enchanted Blue blesses those she deceives with physical perfection. You say I'm perfect, freak? You like what you see? You're good looking? Nice to see someone good looking after all this time. I bet it is. Exiles must have been lonely. I'll admit that I have caught the attention of my goddess. I'm strong enough not to be deceived. Oh yeah? Even though you haven't been deceived, she blessed you?
Don't be snide with me.
Obviously, I stood out for the crowd. You can understand why. Uh-huh. So he's not denying the bless. Do you know about the murder of Grace? Nothing. Is there anything else you can tell me about Henry's movements?
Worthless.
Seriously? Do I need to hold your hand? And speak to the Marshal. Speaking of the Marshal, did you see her last night?
Nonsense.
Didn't see her, freak. What about Lydia and Sam? You won't now. What did you direct her to do right before the council murder? I asked her to take her husband Sam off the island. End of island party was over. His bar could be shut down. I'm wondering though. If Yuri is the one in charge of sending the people to the next island, I don't know where I'm going with this, but something doesn't add up in my mind. Like, why did Lydia and Sam go to the Paradise Gate? I don't think they could have gone back in 6 minutes, go through all the seals, and then go back to the gate. Isn't that what he's saying there? Maybe. You said that the last instruction he gave to Lydia was to take Sam to the next island via the Paradise Gates. He contacted her at approximately 23:40. But they didn't go through. No, they didn't. Because the gates were shut down as they were preparing. Because they have to wind up. And then the murder happened and the council... Carmelina, I think. Or judge, I don't know. Someone decided to shut it down. But I wonder if they would have gone through. Because... Oh, yeah. Did they just stop there to make their alibi, or... Yuri, let's rap for a second.
Don't be snide with me.
Rap? You put a key in the nightmare computer connected to the obelisks on the beach and activated them. What are you talking about?
When love dies,
You did.
all
I've
that
got the
remains
logs.
are the facts.
Don't worry, someone else accessed them, but they were more intelligent than you and used a wireless access device. More intelligent? Insects on this island can barely tie their shoelaces, let alone figure out the symbols on the obelisks in space. Thanks, Yuri. For what? Just told me about the symbols on the obelisk which I didn't ask about, and you'd only know about it if you use them. You get the key to access the obelisk. I have no idea what you're talking about. Aw, how though now to me, Yuri? I know you know the secret of the second seal. I have nothing else to say. Got him. Do you know anything about the third holy seal? Of course not. They're a mystery. Stop wasting time. I think about demons on the island. I shall kill them all. They should have killed Henry while they were at it. Let's not forget the flowers from his hat were found inside of the council's chamber. I've scanned your phone. You can have it back now.
Freak.
Believe me now, freak? No. I don't. The phone records prove my alibi.
The truth is
There's a
revealed.
10-minute period where your phone went dark. Alibi has a hole.
Got it.
Lydia told me she lost contact with you last night during this 10-minute window. She tried to contact you while she was waiting at the Paradise Gates, just before the murder. And?
Why?
Were you in the council building? You didn't want to be contacted? Of course not.
Worthless.
Real folding drive might have disrupted the communications. Oh yeah, just randomly? At the end of an island, the folding drive does a final burst to power both the islands during the transition. The radiation sometimes causes localized areas of communication and electrical interference.
That's weird.
Very convenient.
Pathetic.
What do you want me to say? Were you outside the council penthouse last night, Yuri? Of course I wasn't, Rick. I found pink petals which I suspect are from your hat outside the penthouse. I doubt that. So for the record, this is a complete denial? Yes, Frick, it is. I won't stand up in court anyway. We'll see. They fully denied, huh? Alright. Why did you shut the boat trips early, Yuri? What business is it of yours? Just answer the question. It was part of shutting down the island, ready for the end. But why? It never normally happens and none of the other systems were shut down prematurely. Don't question how I do my job, freak. I had some security worries and shut it down.
When love dies, all that remains are the facts.
Did it have anything to do with a dead body at the bottom of the cliff? What dead body?
How dare you?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but surely this is the jurisdiction of the marshals? You're supposed to be investigating the council murder. Might be linked. Did you have anything to do with it?
No.
Definitely not, freak. Oh, it's a bad coincidence then, huh? Must be. So, is it another coincidence that your missing ring was in the hand of a dead body? What interest is that to you? Is this one? Give me that. It's impolite to snatch. Want to tell me what's it doing in the fist of KHX's dead body? I have no idea. Made it for me and I lost it. Someone probably found it and gave it to him, recognizing his work.
Sure.
Probably. Anything else you want to tell me?
No.
I don't know anything else, freak. Right. Complete denial across the line. Interesting. We haven't spoken to Witness and Carmelina in a while now. I should definitely speak to Carmelina. Horrific elevator. How do I... Was it this way?
What do you want, freak?
I mean...
Architect Carmelina Silence.
Ask you something, Architect? What's your dog's name? Platinum. He's a good boy. When did you get him? This island, a few years ago. An abduction operation, a stray followed the marshal back. Enjoyed having him? Of course, what a strange question. Can I pet him? If you must. Oh, he's a good boy. Are you a good boy? Can you help me sniff out the murder? Help you with anything else, investigator? I'm busy. I mean, I had to pet the dog. Alright then, holy crap, we have a lot here. It claims that the reality folding drive caused the comms blackout last night. Is that something that can happen? What are you asking me? Drive is operated by Masahiro Heavy Industries, but none of the representatives are left on Paradise. You're the architect, so I thought you might know something. Doubt you with the specific, but there have been instances of the drive causing blackouts.
The investigator is here.
Did you experience it last night? No. Localized though, so that isn't to say it didn't happen. Drive performs a burst of power each island. It throws a lot of radiation and particles out into the air. If Fury was in a patch of radiation, it would have caused a blackout temporarily.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Do you think it is convenient that it happened around the time of the murder? Do you? That's what I'm trying to work out. Fury is a loyal member of the Syndicate. You do well to focus on the real suspect instead. You see Yuri last night? He's my secretary investigator. He's my secretary, comma, that's not their investigator. It would be strange were I not to see him. I should say that, yeah. So that was before you went to Witness's apartment? Yes. We concluded our business for the day and he left to deal with a ferry woman for the celebratory gardens. Okay, so she checks his alibi. Including the unaccounted time. Is it Crimson? No. She was probably in a little den. Go and speak to her. You see the Grand Marshal? While I was with Witness, you got a call from Akiko. You could ask him about it. Witness said the same thing. Alright. Is there anything else you can tell me about Henry's movements last night?
How dare you?
Surely you've spoken to the Grand Marshal about it. See Lily and Sam? Need to speak to Yuri. You know about the escape. Should speak to the Grand Marshal. How was Witness last night? Anything strange?
Believe what you want.
Wasn't happy I was there. He seemed agitated. How did this behavior manifest? His mask lets you see more than he thinks he does. Surprise, confusion, worry. Think he was involved in the murder? That's not for me to say, I'm just trying to be helpful. Witness looked like he was in pain when the council were murdered. Know about his illness? He suffers greatly whenever someone dies on these islands, either a citizen or syndicate members. Last night he doubled over in pain, breathless in agony. That's a good point though. If he's really suffering from this disease, how could he have gone up to the chamber and be present when the murder happened? He would have been absolutely crushed by pain. So, we know he used the phone to activate the demon, but he was definitely not there. I don't think, at least. But then the question remains, who finished off everyone in the room? Like the thing with Daido Nigate being shot by Montserrat? Did he then kill Montserrat and left? Weird. Suffers so much when there is a death. What do you know about the second Holy Seal? One of the big mysteries, isn't it? You're the architect and you don't know? Security. It's the only bit of the island I don't design. It's better for the council to design their security and keep the secrets to themselves. You know anything about the third Holy Seal? He's a secret investigator, built without my knowledge. You know anything about the murder of the martial guards? Losing fine marshals to a killer like that is a tragedy. Unfortunately, I don't have any further insights for you. Why did you go to Henry's exorcism?
We have achieved perfection.
I have an acute interest in preventing the island from succumbing to demonic corruption. It is rare to be able to see the effects of a possession firsthand. What the message you sent to Akiko telling her to leave Grace alone with Henry? I have no idea what message you're talking about. I have a copy.
This is nonsense.
I'm sure that is fabrication. I have no authority over Akiko. I can't order her to do anything, much less break procedure with something so dangerous.
Ah,
Then why did she step out of the room and leave them unattended? I have no idea. You'd have to ask her. I think about demons on the island,
Do your job.
besides the one within the killer. Yes. Russia did an exemplary job of wiping the demons out. It was not enough to stop the corruption though. I've been in your bunker.
sure.
Why was it coded only to witness Blood Vial? It embarrasses me to say it, but it was a lover's retreat. Disliked the design as a bunker and dropped my plan for them. Set unused.
Craft is its own reward.
Spending time there with Witness felt illicit, exciting, but things didn't work out. Haven't been there in years. Though I saw in the logs I pulled from it.
Don't test me.
So you definitely weren't experimenting on a killer demon in there? Absolutely not. Can you tell me about the secret panic room experiment? Where did you hear that? People talk. Abandoned that a long time ago. It was designed to be a bunker of sorts. The plan was to dot them around the islands in case of attack. Syndicate members could hide in them. You know about the Holy Seal. Nothing, investigator. It's not my place to know. No one knows how to get into the council building at the next island. It's already built with a new council building. How will the new council get into it? A good question. If the seals on the next island cannot be breached, rebuild the council building. Perfect next island already sounds less than perfect.
We have achieved perfection.
Perfection requires adaptability. We will adapt. Want to tell me what you were doing carving flesh from a god?
I am the leader.
How dare you accuse me of a vile crime like that? That is the height of heresy.
The facts and the truth are
Crying
not the
Grudge
same.
said it himself.
Do your job.
No such thing happened. I think it did. Then you will need some evidence. Accusing the leader of the syndicate of one of the worst crimes imaginable. Temporary leader. Very attached to this title of leader, huh? Are you sure you were with Witness all night? Yes, all night. And you didn't leave him for a moment?
Investigator.
You have something you wish to ask? Well, when Akiko called him, did he leave the room? He did leave room to take the call on his balcony. People leave the room for other reasons as well. And we know that there is a door, one of those weird dimensional doors inside a Witness apartment. Does he even know about it? Was it just used by Carmelina? You wish for me to recall each time either of us went to the bathroom? What if I said there were secret trans-dimensional corridors crisscrossing the island? I'd say that you've spent too long in the scorching sun. So you don't know anything about them? I have no idea what you're talking about. To be clear, you're denying crafting secret corridors and hiding a killer within them? Of course I am. That's totally unbelievable. I think you need a rest, investigator. Rob doesn't rest, so nor I do. Nor do I. Let's see you explain this away in the trials then. Explain what? A total fantasy? We'll see. The witness doesn't take phone calls around other people. When he received a call last night, he stepped out of his balcony. It leaves a period of about 5 minutes where no one can account for Carmelina's movement. Such a narrow window for everybody, huh? You feel you aren't being rewarded for your hard work, Architect? What do you mean by that?
Got it.
I've heard that there is a suspicion that you feel aggrieved by all your hard work building the island being rewarded with a seat on the council. I do not require a reward for my craft. Craft is its own reward. Are you trying to build a motive for me?
I was
That's my
born
job.
to investigate.
You're going down the wrong path. Titles and power aren't my desires. Can you tell me about your self-imposed isolation 25 years ago?
Do your job.
I have no idea what something I did 25 years ago is any of your concern.
That's
What are you doing?
strange.
You said it was for a project, but no one has ever seen what came of it. What I choose to do is nothing you need to concern yourself with. Fucking giving birth. How dare you lie to me like that? Conspiracy crafted from the fabric of the island. Carmelina hidden killer commit a crime to end all crimes? Could be. Hey man, did we ever learn about more about what weird coded message sent at midnight? Yes, that was Witness opening the demon coffin.
Dr. Dinges.
Got the sec doc? How's the investigation going? Caught a bad guy yet?
It's
Multiple.
been wonderful to see you again.
Again, every time the accent just hits me. I think I've got some handcuffs somewhere around if you need them. How many people have you used them on?
Want to play
Only a few
doctors and
special
nurses?
ones. Still no settle down then? That kind of guy. Too much to experience. Have you to experience? Who haven't you experienced? That's a good question. I don't kiss and tell. Place your arms. Nice topic change. Updated model by MHI. Haven't improved the haptics in the fingers.
Oh, I'm glad to be back.
Strictly for medical purposes, I'm sure. Want to test them? I have a job to do. Everyone is supposed to do a lot of things. See what happens later. Goodbye, Doc. We're flirting so much.
Wonderful!
I'm enraptured by you, Love Dice. The send the key to your heart is information. Maybe there's something I can help you with. Oh yeah? Oh, does it sound like Q is swooning? I don't know. Oh, you wanna tell me? Akiko's in trouble. She's been mixing business and pleasure. The council found out. Planning on stripping her of her authority on the next island. Is this about the relationship with Captain Voth? Hey, Grey Fox, by the way. So you know. And who told you?
I had nothing to do with this.
Ice Kiwami, a while before he died. Gets loose-lipped after a drink.
Sure.
And who told Akiko?
Fabulous.
I also get loose-lipped around a woman in power armor. Fair enough. Thank you, Doctor. I wonder, you know, since my idea initially is that Akiko killed the two marshals, and that murder is completely unrelated to the entire council murder. What if, okay, Akiko orchestrated the escape of Henry, killed the two marshals, but she would never kill her own marshals. So she took 2 randos, dressed them in martial clothes, and killed them. Spread all the freaking demonic glyphs, and then captured Henry. All to prove that the demons were a threat. But she never wanted to kill the council. You know? It was just oh look, a demon broke the first seal. You probably want to do something about it, you know? 2 marshals have been killed, we need to make them immortal. But it was never meant to go beyond the first seal. Because honestly, nothing else connects Akiko to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th seal. Some connections to Henry, but not Akiko. And Henry... I don't know about Henry, man. I don't know. Was there any evidence at all that he was in the final penthouse chambers? We found a lot of evidence of a lot of things, but nothing about Henry. Henry doesn't know about Henry either. That's a good point. I've been told you that you're in love with Akiko.
I'm a professional.
You paid for that secret? It's none of your business or anyone else's. It has nothing to do with your case. Did you experience a comms blackout last night from the reality folding drive? Can't say I did. It's pretty unusual. Oh, so many questions about Kiwami, and he does not like that. Did you see Lily and Sam? I was in my clinic all night and did not see them. You examined Grace's bloodlines when Henry killed her, right? A nasty one for sure. Was there anything odd about the scene or the victim? I mean, odd for a case of demonic possession? You get to examine the scene for long. Akiko was in a rush to contain the area. It was a pretty open and shut case.
Hypothetically?
The markings on Grace were strange though. I'm telling you, I was right. In what way? Henry's other victim, his mother, had the same sigil scorched into her skin as Henry. Grace had those sigils, but they weren't scorched. It looked like they had been carved with a blade. I told you. Demon inside Henry burns with a cosmic fire, and Henry's victims received the same branding. If he killed the council, they'd all carry the sigils? Depends on how he did it. Don't have a lot of evidence to support this, but I expect the sigils to be only scorched on victims he had sustained close contact with. Cut and run probably wouldn't do it, but strangulation would. It mentioned that I would expect the inhibitors to prevent or limit the scorching of the sigils into the victims. So why were Grace's sigils cut into her? I wrote it off with the madness of demonic possession. I don't know a whole lot about this kind of thing, so I figured he carved them himself as some kind of ritual. Can't say for sure though. Thanks. Yeah. Totally not Henry that killed Grace. Oh god. I think Ai's Kiwami is Henry's father. What? The blood
This is
sample
bad.
match. The only place you could have got a sample of Kiwami's blood is from his grave. You broke into my best friend's grave to get a blood sample? You desecrate the resting place of someone I consider a brother to run around with some conspiracy theory?
What?
We're done here. I like you, investigator, and I'll help you with any genuine lines of inquiry you have, but I won't tolerate this. Yikes. Oopsie. Do you give Sam blood? Yes, I do. He has a rare condition. You might have noticed he has no flesh, and his skeleton is bright red. Council approved letting him have citizen blood, that is, let in the temple. Developed this condition a few sequences ago. I suspect his body is starting to give out. Did you kill the council for revenge for the death of your father? Got some guts coming onto my yacht, flinging bullshit like that around. It's in my job, Doc.
That's not nice.
Not a killer. Never have been. Never will be. Regardless of what happened to my father. Wasn't he like a... Didn't somebody... Was it Acid that told me that he was even feared by gods for how strong he was? Even if it put Akiko in harm's way? You jump into some pretty big conclusions and exhausting my goodwill. My personal life and feelings are none of your business.
The island is about to
I didn't
end.
kill the council, and there's nothing in this world that would make me a killer. I was a battlefield medic, but didn't carry a weapon. I've seen the nightmare of death and do not intend to inflict it on anyone else, no matter what. This conversation is over. Yeah. I feel like I burned the bridge big time, but I needed to ask a few questions. So technically, we can talk to Sam, Acid, and Witness. Okay. I don't know why Sam, but I'm gonna go there. The question is how? Oh, there you go. Apparently counts as a citizen house.
Sam Daybreak.
Hi, Sammy. A special one would be appropriate, don't you think? Save your glass.
What's that?
My
Fancy a
glass?
drink?
You remember, don't you? A glass perfect for a carved ice ball, right? You really do remember your guests, Sam? Must try, mustn't I?
My unique blend.
Have my own blend. Night Alone. A deep whiskey with complex flavors. Spice mixes with the orange and a hint of honeysuckle. It's meant to be savored without being diluted. I hand carved the ice for each glass. Glass has the perfect shape. You get the ice. Deep Factory produces minus 20-degree ice that is frozen over a period of days. The longer it takes to freeze, the hotter and clearer it is. True. Can see, can't you, LD, how perfect it is? This doesn't melt and dilute the whiskey. A good observer. Colder ice takes longer to melt. You can savor the whiskey for longer without it becoming diluted. An excellent way to spend some time, wouldn't you say? What's the most important ingredients in your blends? Hard to say, in a lot of craft, isn't it? Everything has a place and uses, doesn't it? Push me for an answer? It is my love for Lydia. You can relate, can't you? She's my partner in life and my respect for her gives me something to live up to. I miss having that. You want to have a lover, LD?
Sorry.
Lover and a partner? I miss Isaiah. The journey to perfection is a hard one. Loved ones are essential. We have similar outlooks, don't we? It's always a pleasure, LD. Come on, man, tell me something.
Relic obtained.
Last Love Dies always used that same bar before her exile. Oh man, nothing? Did you experience a comms blackout last night? Did you couldn't contact Yuri for a while? Was that because of a blackout? Well, I'm trying to find out. Alright. I need to talk to Crimson. Maybe we have new information that we can buy? Alright, Crimson.
Crimson Acid.
Time for a chat. What are you planning to do with your amassed wealth? If trade is good, you're carrying a lot of broad crystals. A quiet life? That's why I'm down here, away from the tower. Not the greatest fan of people. Yeah.
Good work.
I think a big chunk of change allows you to live your life in peace. You're an idol, you still have a job to do. You all have a crosses to bear.
Good.
You tried that new beer I'm on the can of? It's good. I bought a can. That's one on the island. There's a competition to win a date with me with a winning ring pull. Anyone win? Let you into a little secret. There's no winning ring pulls. I know certain things about the Dead Nebula Company. I told the CEO that I know these things and she made the winning pull disappear. Not a prize to be passed around. I try to think what your file on me looks like. I know all sorts, but there's always more to learn. Learn about me. Wink. Don't be a tease. Seeing you, lady. Oh yeah. You experienced a comms blackout last night? Oh, down here. That's a very rare lady. Is this that as an alibi? You need to be skeptical. Exactly how rare are we talking here? Okay, so I need to talk to Witness now. We haven't talked to him in a long while. And we found a lot of shit about him. But, where would that be? Where was he even? Syndicate Apartments, maybe? Oh. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I forgot about the creepy door. Holy crap.
Witness to the end.
Alright, we have so much to talk about. Want to chat? I must warn you that I am not one for long conversation. How are your plans? Do well in the climate of paradise. When the world is coming apart, it is good to have a hobby. You like one? Like to give them to people? They're difficult to care for.
The end times are looming.
They are a test sent from the gods. If we fail to look after them, they will die. If they all die, then we all die. Plants need our time and devotion. So do our gods. Sure. Maddening rare plant. Plant has been freshly fertilized and watered. Comes from an esoteric plateau from my home in Iran. Survive for a while without constant attention. Once you finish your investigation, it will provide something to focus on. Thank you. Cool. I'm enjoying our conversation, Lady Lovedeyes. Sensitive matter which we could discuss further.
Relic obtained.
Yeah?
Ooh, the investigator is here.
It is about Akiko's phone call after Henry escaped. I see you're working hard, Lovedeyes, so I will tell you this. I worry that you are doing this for yourself and not for the gods, but I am bound to help you. It is their wish.
What?
Akiko was supposed to be at the Desolation Cell, yet I couldn't hear the haunting sounds of that island, or the sea that surrounds it. Oh, what does that mean? Everything? Nothing? You need to work that out. Gods wished you to know, so now you know. She was not at the cell, the Desolation Cell? Then Henry was alone? Henry even ever escape? I mean, he was found outside, or so Akiko said. Oh boy, here we go.
The gods are displeased.
Monster's movements have been recorded by the Grand Marshal, alright. Did you see the Grand Marshal last night? I spoke to her when she reported Henry's escape, but I didn't see her until the crisis meeting after the killer had been arrested. Doomjazz told me that you asked about overcoming the inhibitors. End of an island is endlessly fascinating. Symphony of finales, all hanging in the balance.
The end times are looming.
Like a demonically possessed prisoner is a significant risk. You need to know everything there is to know. You weren't trying to find out how to overcome them to help Henry escape, are you?
The gods are displeased.
They're ridiculous. How would it help our holy mission? Witness, I need to talk to you. I know you suffer from psychic death screams. Should have known Doomjazz can't be trusted with patient confidentiality around you. Yes, every time a person dies, I'm assailed by the psychic death scream echoing out into space. Jazz prescribes me medication for it. Do you know about this device I found? Like it records the death screams you suffer from and replays them. It's been fitted with a directional speaker that allows them to be targeted. Found it pointed at Henry's cell. Just hypothesized that someone possessed by a demon would be agitated by it and have a spike of adrenaline. Sounds perfect for whipping Henry into a frenzy when Akiko went to execute him, giving him a chance to escape. Death screams are torture. I would never inflict them on anyone else.
I have a bad feeling
You
about
like it?
this.
Of course. No evidence that I placed or used the device. That is true. Experienced a complex blackout last night? I didn't. They have occurred before, they have always been hard to pinpoint, they don't affect the whole island. To Yuri last night? Is the secretary to the architect, have you spoken to her? You see Lily and Sam? Speak to Yuri, alright. You know anything about the third Holy Seal? Holy Seals are kept a secret on purpose. What do you know about the murder of Grey's bloodlines? That case solved years ago? Anything about demons?
This island is full of sinners.
I don't. They're a blight on our holy work, corrupting our righteous home. Marshall has exterminated them all after they came to the island. There shouldn't be any left. I found the hidden bunker you've been using to study killer demon in it.
Surely this is a joke.
That is nonsense. No, it isn't. It has a blood vial lock coded to yours and Carmelina's blood vials. Care to explain? Don't play games. That is an old panic room that Carmelina installed on the island. I'm not comfortable talking about the times I used to spend with her. That was our own hideaway for a time. Know anything about illegal demonology in there? Time you used to spend with her? Discussion for another time. You dialed the number blah 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 at midnight last night. That call was through a receiver attached to a lock on a crate which contained a killer demon that had been hidden in the council penthouse.
Blasphemy!
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The facts and the truth
Yes,
are
you
not
do.
the same.
You unleashed the killer demon. No, I didn't. Someone is trying to frame me.
Crime is repulsive.
What do you know about the Fourth Holy Seal? Nothing, Lady Lovedyes. It is one of the council's secrets. A god told me you went and carved off some flesh. What's up with that? Not your concern.
When
Oh yeah?
love dies,
I vehemently
all that
disagree.
remains.
Another
Fine.
sinner.
The islands die and I want to know why. Demons come to us and rot our triumphs. Gods attract them? Does keeping one on the islands make demonic invasions more likely? To carve his flesh seems like a sin. I needed to study it. You can feel the cosmos when you look at the flesh of one of our lords. He's linked to the stars. Is he a magnet? What did you find? Nothing. Holiness of a lord should never have been questioned. Can I verify this is true? I conducted the research in private.
I don't like this.
Right.
Got it.
I checked your building logs. Your story checks out.
I am still bathed in the glory of the gods.
Of course it does. The righteous have nothing to hide. Oh yeah?
Crime cannot hide.
Tell me about the moment the council died. Did you suffer death scream trauma when they died? Yes. I was assailed by the psychic death screams of council. I was brought to my knees by the pain. Carmelita was in your apartment all last night, right? What about when you stepped out to take a call? I didn't see her out on my balcony. I was over there. I stepped out using my sliding door. If Carmelita had left by the front door, you wouldn't have seen her? I wouldn't. I also didn't hear the elevator, so if she did leave my apartment, she would have only been out here. Yeah, except, you know, secret door. You hear the elevator every time I have come to speak to you?
What?
How did you present that question to me? I'm surprised to say that I didn't. Put it down to exhaustion. I haven't slept. What are you asking? Working the lead.
Why?
Why were you irritated to see Carmelita?
What?
Is that what she told you? I was surprised. It is unlike her to do a social call. Why do you think she interpreted that as irritation? I believe she wanted to gloat about the perfect next island. I wasn't in the mood to fawn over her achievements. Different views on the rush of perfection. Have you started taking calls in private?
What?
Why is this anyone's business? Hiding something? Plotting something? Be ridiculous.
Why?
Why were you butting heads with Montserrat? What does that have to do with anything?
I need to
Montserrat is
investigate
dead.
this.
I need to know why someone was clashing with a murder victim.
Blasphemy!
Our leader was not following the holy mission. His focus was on the island sequences and not the gods. Like he was straying from the path. Yes, I'm glad you understand. Our first priority is to prostrate ourselves before the gods, not build ourselves a nice home.
The gods are displeased.
If our islands fail, then that is the will of the gods. If we trust in them, we will be saved.
I don't like this.
That make you angry enough to kill? I know you must ask these questions, but it pains me to hear that you question my loyalty and faith.
Crime is repulsive.
You voted against every proposal he put forward, didn't you? Is the point of our democratic meetings? We'll have to say a say on the direction of the Syndicate. His direction veered away from our holy mission. I voiced my disagreement with it. What kind of proposal were they?
Surely this is a joke.
Advancements toward the so-called Perfect 25? I don't care about our new home being perfect if the gods are not there to celebrate with us. Out of the ocean of madness, so many pyramids sit empty. 24 island sequences and we only have one pyramid resident. We're capable of so much more.
Why?
Why haven't we done no more?
Surely this is a joke.
Montserrat had other plans. Grand resurrections could wait until the island sequences were solved.
The gods are
What's the point of
displeased.
Perfect 25 if the gods remain in pain? I wanted to remind Montserrat of the Syndicate purpose, so I voted against everything he and the rest of the council put forward.
Is this a fact? Or a
Remind him with a
truth?
knife by chance? No, absolutely not. Right. Should we go and speak with the pyramid god once more? Do you think he will speak to me? It seems like last time it was really annoyed, but... I mean... Maybe there's something new we could ask it? Probably doesn't hurt to try, but I'm just gonna waste like 5 minutes. But to be fair, it's not my fault that everybody seems to have a piece of his flesh. Like, what the hell, man? Oh, wait, hang on. This is probably a faster way to get there. Oh, man, oh man, the precision of that dash jump. Gamers in the house, you know. Hey, Mr. Grudge. I said leave me. Bye, Mr. Grudge. Ah, shit. Well, it was worth a shot. It was such a quick dismission. Alright. Dismissal, even. Dismissal? Is that the right word? English, man. It's hard.
Don't test me.
I can't investigate that more. Doesn't really help me. I think it's time. This is making my English bad too, don't worry about it. Damn it. Heat bad for brain. I was legit reading about a study of the effect of heat on the brain, and it's not good. It's really not good. Q is in heat. I mean, I've been in heat for the last, what now? 3 months and a half? I literally couldn't spell excuse for about 5 minutes earlier. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah. What the? How am I going backward? Alright, guys. Here we go. What is that? 2 big pyramids? Oh no, this is a weird one.
Nightmare computer unlocked.
This valve is venting the gas from the corrupted zone below. It should set off the demonic detection system. The Martians will be running out of the barracks any moment now. Okay. Where are the barracks? That building. We infiltrate right now. Been hit for little months, but trying to send me off to Horny Jail? You know, sometimes somebody has to, you know. Can't just be let out on your own devices. You know how dangerous that is. Okay, I'm going down. I should be going up. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Hang on, there was a way along, huh? Okay, where is the access? Marshals are gone. It's time. I'm infiltrating the barracks. I know all the symbols now. All the symbols I know.
Nightmare computer unlocked.
What is this?
Scene investigation.
The barracks server room. Prisoner transfer records. Some records about prisoner transfer that stand out. Akiko removed 2 prisoners that are unaccounted for a day before the murder. Why? That's it. She did it. I'm telling you, that's exactly how it went down. An encrypted file in a suspicious looking folder that is outside of the main Marshall files. Starlight can crack the security on it. Can you do it? If Akiko finds out, I'm not sure how long my head will stay on my shoulders. Sure. There are prisoner transfer records. As well as the Desolation Cell, there's a prison within the barracks for the non-demon possessed prisoners. Looks like Akiko removed 2 prisoners 2 days ago. No record of them being brought back to the prison.
That's weird.
But why Akiko would have removed the prisoner? This file is encrypted and outside of the normal folder structure. It's a photo of a strangled woman. The job is a never-ending joy.
Got it.
Metadata says that this came from a folder called Grace Bloodlines Examination. I'll hang on to this. Photo of Grace Bloodline's neck from her examination. Looking closely, you see the bruising around her throat. Marks aren't uniform. There is an area of more pressure. Oh yeah? An area of more pressure. Does somebody have like a... I don't know, like a weird hand? Anyone have bad hands? Aside from Doom Jazz. Just no hands at all. Why would Doom Jazz kill the architect though? Seems really weird. Sorry, not the architect, the exorcist. Besides, he was nowhere near that place, was he? Also, didn't he perform the examination himself? Why would he leave that file there? Oh, there's a piss fountain.
Relic obtained.
New knight, a humanoid with 2 dog heads, a warrior clad in gold armor, carries a spear, sword and shield. Laser forces in Romania. What is this? Unite the Holy Warrior, the slaughter of the Chained Star System.
Got it.
Unite is an arrogant goddess that only deemed soldier worthy of her attention. Syndicate got superstitious after any statues of her outside of Marshall Grounds were destroyed by red lightning on the 5th island. Since then, there has only ever been 1 statue of her on each island. Henry says he remembers seeing New Knight last night. Did he come past the statue? If he did, this means he came through the barracks. This is the only one on the island. Means Henry took a different route to the council building. Which route did he actually take? I'm wondering, is there a way into the council from here? Door leads to the barracks and a secure tunnel to the Desolation Cell where Henry is incarcerated. It is coded only to Akiko's blood vial. Which means Akiko brought him here. Is there evidence? Come on. Keep. I need evidence that Henry was being held in here. Okay, this is... Marsha quarters, mess hall and training hall. My blood vial hasn't been authorized. I doubt Akiko will allow that. Because if we find a way into the chambers, then yeah, sure, Henry could have gone there. But if not, then there's no way. Could have made it in time. So that door that I just opened better lead inside of the council chambers somehow. But before we go deeper in, I'm just gonna investigate around here. I want to see if there was more on the roof level. Not really. Okay. Going in. What's this? Armory and combat halls. My blood vial hasn't been authorized. Prisoner processing and cells. What's this even going? The barracks are sealed unless you're a marshal. Interesting. Well, I mean, this doesn't really tell me anything though, does it? I mean, other than the fact that if Henry got through the seals, it must have been accompanied by Akiko. At least up until the first door. But then how would he go through all the others alone? Oh no. Man, I'm not sure how much else is left for us to investigate. I need to find that code for the safe. Then speak to Doom Jazz, Akiko, Henry, and Death Lady. I wanna go speak to Akiko again and Henry. Maybe Henry's cooldown is over now? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Man, I swear, why do they all have to worship all these different gods? Couldn't they have just worshipped the vile twins and always engage in extreme sex? That way, everybody's happy, no one is fighting. You know? Make love, not war, or something. Do you know how many fatalities are caused by extreme sex? Yeah, but at least you know what happened. You know? It's no mystery.
Every division.
Harry? Any joy to be had on the islands? Oh, yeah, too much really. The fuck do you think?
Got it.
I was trying to get a handle on the island that birthed the crime to handle crimes. Do our work and pray. Sometimes people go to that bar, sometimes we go to the beach. You know that there's boat rides? Fucking boat rides.
Sure.
The demon
Been
wants
on one?
to see this island scorched into nothing.
Yeah, a long time ago. My mum took me. We didn't get the best seats. It was a problem kid and she was a single mother. We always shunned. Made some friends eventually. There was a mahjong club in one of the apartments. She got in with them. What about you? Fun kids to hang out with? Not friends though. I would just do stuff to make them laugh. Smash windows, set fire to people, whatever. Sorry, set fire to people? After being arrested a lot.
I'm shocked!
Hang on.
Stunned!
What the fuck am I doing opening up like this? Whatever. Here's something fucking good. I got something. I like Investigator. I think you're onto something. The code for the safe is... Yes! I thought you had a bad memory. Some things just get engraved on it. Trust me. I wish they didn't. People should have minds full of things. If you only have a couple of things rotting around in there, it's torture. Same thing keeps bouncing off the edges of your consciousness. It's like a gunshot each time.
Key item obtained.
Yes! We got the combination for the freaking safe. Did you experience a comms blackout last night? From the reality folding drive? What do you think? Did you go to the barracks last night? Why you're asking? The statue of the new knight is in the barracks. I guess I did then. Good investigating. You nailed it. Any fucking idea how that happened? Everyone is saying about you, what you did last night might be wrong. Some excitement, finally. I'm gonna freaking nail Akiko for this
Grand
one.
Marshal Akiko 14.
Got a minute?
Nenorocito.
You're going to die.
The
Humor me.
investigator is here.
You anything outside of soldiering? Why are you so interested to know? What part of the syndicate? I'm trying to establish a friendship.
Freak.
Why would I want to have a friendship with a Dobitokule like you? Asshole, I think that is. Certain relationships expand our worldview. They can also provide comfort and support. Tikalos? What was that? Just tell me something about yourself. Do you have a pet?
Turfa.
Pet? Fine. 2 goldfish.
I'm glad to be back.
There we go. We're getting somewhere. It's the Dureros. Uh-huh. Hang on. Let me write that. It's painful. Why?
She
goldfish. I mean, why not? What drew you to fish? Did you have them as a kid? In the barracks, just after I was taken in by the new Knight Army. I looked after them while I adjusted to the military life. Man,
Ooh, the
You miss those days?
investigator is here.
war is no place for children, Prost. I did what I had to.
I'll kill
That's it, I'm done, no more. Goodbye, bitch. Yo, bitch. It's nothing. Is it, though?
Rahat.
It was nothing. Spit it out, come on, we're both busy. You know something about someone on the island?
Nenorocito.
It's about Crimson. What about her? Came to see me in secret to ask about becoming a marshal. Oh yeah. Give this information up lightly, bitch. Used to be a fine soldier, blessed by the gods for her role in repelling the 19-island invasion.
Ich prost.
The only syndicate member allowed to be a marshal. Nothing I could do for her.
That's weird.
Why are you telling me this? Henry's your only suspect.
Rahat.
Henry did it, no doubt. Just telling you that there may be someone that would benefit from him doing it.
I'm glad to be back.
Look into it, thank you. So, about your alibi. Did you experience a comms blackout? No, I didn't. Heat on the street is that you're trying to expand the responsibilities of the marshals. You wanted to fold exorcism into the duties of the marshals.
The facts
Sure
and
would
the
be
truth
helpful
are
if a
not the
demonic threat
same.
killed our exorcist.
Nenorocito, you're out of your mind.
I should kill you for that accusation. What can you tell me about the demonic sigils on Grace's body? They found this on Henry's mother.
Sure.
I've been told they weren't, though. Real Division sigil was scorched. The other ones were carved. Got any proof? No solid proof, just a good bit of testimony. Were you carrying a blade when you arrested Henry? Of course I was. I always carry my sword and combat knife. Oh yeah? Did you find the blade on Henry when you arrested him, or after he had killed Grace? No. So how did the sigils get carved into her body? No idea. Demons? Thanks for the insight. What about you wanting to expand the roles of the marshals? Where have you pulled that from? You want exorcism to be a martial role. Makes sense, we hunt them. Might as well do the next step. Sounds to me like you're making a land grab to boost the importance of marshals. See what you want. What happened with the prisoners you removed from the barracks? It's classified. I disagree. Why were they removed? Investigator, they were being processed before the slaughter ritual. You don't just open the prison gates and let them wander over to the temple.
The investigator is here.
They were removed before the slaughter ritual. What happened to them? Processed, then returned to their cells.
I don't like
Dogs
this.
don't show them being returned. You don't have access to the full martial network, so you can't prove that. Also don't get to question how I run my army. Except I did get that. Dude, you know what I'm figuring out? We're getting super close to the trial. We are literally a few conversations away from going to trial. And I have no idea who did it. So I'm gonna wing it in the trials. I got to say, my prime suspect is Carmelina. We have Knight, Doom Jazz. I did it. You couldn't have. Where were you the night of the murder, Gray? At midnight, specifically. At the murder scene. Show me the proof. I haven't seen any proof that you were at the murder scene. I've been there, you know. Isn't it your job to find the proof? Exactly. And there isn't any. You were not at the crime scene. Why are you lying about being at the crime scene? What were you really doing? Like getting away with it again? Objection! You're doing this wrong? I think it's fine.
One last kiss.
What's your take on Perfect 25? There is no such thing as perfection. The Syndicate has obsessed over demonic corruption but turned a blind eye to the corruption itself. Are you expecting Perfect 25 to fail? Fail is a broad term. Nothing lasts forever, does it? Everything changes, including perfection. I don't think many people want to hear that. Human's folly. Believing whatever you want isn't acceptable. You can tell how far society is away from collapse by how many people flock to demagogues. Think Carmelina's a demagogue? She's the one peddling perfection, isn't she? One offering the easy answer to all worries. Perfection is a lie. Perfection will crumble. Perfection is sold to fools. Do you think we can achieve perfection? That's what I need to find out. I hope you do. Come on. Comms blackout. It would be very convenient for that to happen last night, wouldn't it? I think whoever told you that is lying. Nice. And I'm wondering if Yuri could actually be killer. He was constantly arguing. The only issue I have with it is that how did he go through the third seal? Because the first one, easy, he skipped it. Second one, he had the helmet, the space helmet from Lydia. He then knew the symbols because he logged into the computer on the beach. And fourth seal, he had the flesh. Yoink, my seals now. What? Doesn't make any sense. Alright, moment of truth, guys. I swear to God, if it's something rude, I'm gonna be screaming. Proves that it pays to be nice to people sometimes. Let's see, what a citizen like Henry would be hiding in a safe. The Grimoire of Majida. Of light reading.
Ooh, the
Predates
investigator
the
is
Great
here.
Betrayal. It was written by a scholar of the esoteric Majida. Was famed for learning how to communicate with the gods and hold cosmic communes with them. Should be in the restricted vault of the Syndicate's library. Yuri accessed the restricted area a decade ago. Did he take this? This is the book Henry said he was given. This might prove that his possession was aided. Wanted the island to be invaded by demons, but why? See, the thing is that everything revolves around freaking Carmelina, even Yuri being her assistant. Gonna have to read through all those sections before we finish here. Try to get the bigger picture. We can talk to Henry, we can talk to Yuri, and we can talk to Doom Jazz. Why Doom Jazz? Which one is the closest one? Good question, Curie. How would I know? I don't know, you tell me, Curie. Crazy, he's talking to himself. Talking to yourself also a heat thing? Of course. Look, honestly, I blame literally everything bad on the heat in summer. Everything.
Team Jazz.
The one that doesn't call me the investigation freak. Not nice to call people names, is it? Name was given to you in derogatory. May have lived up to it, but be careful of the labels you let stick to you. Depends on your perspective. What do you mean? Other people can see something about us we can't ourselves, even if that opinion comes from a place of nastiness. On the other hand, it's easy to accept what others tell you about yourself. It's a fine line. Who's going for the real talk nowadays? Or something else you want to talk about? I don't know. These things feel pretty heavy around here. Not the one tasked with saving paradise. Not the right person for the job. You are though. Forgiving and forgetting my past. Ah, whatever. We all make mistakes. I'd be the type to bind people to the history. People change. Restock didn't proposition me this time. I assume we're going to stop by again at some point before this is all over. We'll see. What do you know about the photo taken of Grace's throat during your examination? I took photos, but they were confiscated by Akiko. Classified or whatever. Found one on the Marshal's server. Can I get your opinion on it? The bruising on the throat looks odd.
I'm worried.
That's because the fingers that did it aren't uniform. In normal strangulation bruising, you can see the areas of pressure from the fingertips and the knuckles.
How?
Pressure of these is misaligned. This is normally because the attacker is wearing jewelry. Specifically in this case, a ring. On their wedding ring finger. Hey Yuri? What about power armor? No. Gauntlets on the Marshal's power armor are gloves with armor plates on the top of the hands. Was a wedding ring? A war? It was 10 years ago. Years ago. What the frick was married 10 years ago? Speaking of level sticking to you, there's a label called child labor on his arm. Does he? Child labor records. It's just a music thing, don't worry about it. Can talk to Yuri now. Does that mean he's suspicious about the wedding ring thing? You calling for your husband? I mean, I can't go to the... Oh, okay. Well, can I go to the gardens then? Man, what if it was Yuri? How did he even get in there?
Yuri Knight.
What kind of music do you like? Good, a properly addressed question. Why do you want to know? I want to get you to know you. Have you been drinking? Are you a dark gabber? You have any interests?
Freak.
I do enjoy some music. Classical. Music that improves your mind. But it shows that the impact of listening to classical music only lasts for 10 minutes. And any long-term effects.
Don't make me
Why?
laugh.
Goodbye, freak. Bye, Yuri. You know why a book that you took from the library was in Harry's safe? Nothing to do with me.
Is this a fact?
It says a stranger
or
passed
a
him a
truth?
forbidden book and told him to keep it a secret. The book is one you accessed. Sure, you can prove that, freak. If I remember correctly, the library vaults only records entry and exit, not what was read or taken. Just happen to know that? No, freak, I don't just happen to know that. I use the vault to acquire books for the architect. I know how the system works because I use it often. Did you access the library vault and give forbidden books on demonology to Henry? No. You're only one of the suspects who accessed the vault. That doesn't mean the book came from me. Yeah, right. Look like he's wearing a ring. You know who's been married? That's a real good question. Don't think we do, but... Was Carmelina married to Ai's Kiwami at some point? Because I would like to remind that Kiwami apparently killed himself. When was that? 10 years ago? No, 25 years ago. That was... I do remember that being... them perfectly matching something else happening. Don't remember what. I need to establish a better timeline for the entire thing. Starting 25 years ago. Or 27 even, with Henry's birth. And 5 years is the birth of Dingleberry? Yes, that's exactly it.
Henry Division.
Whatever you fucking say!
What the fuck is up with this slaughter ritual? Citizens don't get to go to the next island, so ritual takes place where the citizens are sacrificed to the gods. The temple becomes washed with blood, and the psychic energy of death is directed to the gods by the High Priestess.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Don't you think that is really fucked up? Yes. It's the worst part of the whole thing. 25 should end it, no more dead islands. A big fucking load of kidnapped citizens though, right? Sounds real perfect. Whatever. I found a forbidden tome about demonology in your apartment. What are you doing with it?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Is this one big fucking joke? What the fuck do you think I was doing with it? Propping up a table? Doing some fucking demon fuckinology.
The investigator is
Who
here.
gave it to you? A stranger? Who went through this already?
I have a bad feeling about this.
Is this where your memory fails you? Don't get cute. Damn it. Really hoped they would say something about
Grand
it.
Marshal Agago 14.
Yuri. Why do you hate me so much? You're the investigation freak. They're hard to figure out. What's the problem? It's a soldier versus civvy thing? Case file completed. You solved the mystery. Does it have to be like this? Way of the world. Exists in different planes. We see different things. I work so hard. I work so that you may sleep at night. Brought about without a care in the world. Service requires no thanks.
Nenorocito.
What a good lapdog you are. We're done here. Goodbye. Why did you confiscate the photo of Grace Bloodline's neck from Doomjazz after the
I'll
examination?
put your head on a spike.
She was murdered by someone possessed by a demon. Anything related to demonic possession is classified. That's standard procedure or just for evidence that doesn't tie into the official story? Standard procedure. You think you're easily smart and clever with your snide insinuation, but you're not. You're wrong. I mean, we know it wasn't her. Okay. Literally, there's nothing else I can do. No one else wants to talk to me. Do we have everything we need? Alright. I'm gonna get into a nice place. Nice soft music. And we'll start going through the various pages of information that we accumulated. For the past, I don't know, like 12 hours or something. Okay, it was a nice place for that. I'm also thinking if there could possibly be anything else that we need to address, but I really don't think so. I mean, unless we want to keep going around and around, hanging out with people, hoping they spill something more. That would be the last step, wouldn't it? I wonder if there's a point where they just stop
Video gateway.
hanging out with you. That's at the least readable clues we have. Yeah, that's a good point. Whoops. What did I skip? But here, you always were a perfect couple. Oh, how are things with Sam? Why'd you ask? Many people experience a relationship with the burden of immortality. You have to be thoughtful and considerate. The most important thing is being relaxed. Eternity is a long time. Statistically, you're both going to make mistakes and hurt each other. That can't be helped. On the other hand, you have forever to patch it up and make it right. What about you? Looking to get back into the dating game? It's hard when the dating pool is so small. Doomjazz and get some citizen hookups going on. Fresh crop on the next island. Speaking of which, you could always swing by DJ's yacht again. Nah man, that was a long time ago. The fresh start? This feels weird. Everyone lived a life, but I've been trapped in a moment. What to think about. I get you, LD. You'll get there. Hold this thing and start in a new paradise. Come on. There we go. We're tight, right, LD? I can tell you something, right?
Sure.
Everything's on the record, but I'll use some discretion. And Sammy didn't kill the council.
It's complicated.
But we aren't happy.
Come on, LD.
We want out. The council wouldn't let us leave, though. What do you mean? Me and Sammy are done with this life. Small islands, immortality, waking the gods.
The island feels bad, LD.
I want to travel the world, the real world. Sammy wants to make whiskey with any ingredient, not just what dead Nebula grows.
If you can prove it,
But Monster
sure.
Rat and the council said no. Once you're in the syndicate, you're in the syndicate. I'm telling you because other people know and they'll spread the secret. But killing them wouldn't help us. Actually, they wouldn't let us get out either. Sounds like a motive. I'm assuming she wouldn't tell me if that wasn't... Oh, we can talk to Sam about it now. Hello?
If you want to live, the dead zone is leaking demonic gas.
Oh,
the
yeah?
purifying system seems to have failed.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Oh, the dingus. They don't know. Did we ever get a relationship dialogue with Sam? I feel like I haven't. Even though I paid good cash to talk to him at the bar.
Sam Daybreak.
Fancy a drink.
Is Night Alone okay again? Neat this time? As what you had last time allowed you to savor it for longer, but it was chilled. The colder the drink, the less you can taste it. I hope you'll enjoy the pure taste of this blend. Delicious.
I'm glad to be back.
What are you blending on this island? Night Alone and the Vortex blend. You can try it next time. No single malts?
My unique
Blended
blend.
whiskey requires a fusion of single malts, but on this island I have few focused on serving blended instead of single. It's important to practice all areas of your repertoire, isn't it? What's Lydia's drinking these days? She enjoys a drink while she paints. She chooses something appropriate to her piece. There's all the different ways of serving. Oh, like you, right, LD? There's something to be enjoyed in everything. About the next island. It is important to breathe the new island in. Learn about the craft drink that can only be born on that island. The island gives the drink so much character, don't they? Make it to the next island. Go, Sam, catch you later.
I am under suspicion,
Maybe
LT.
there is something we should talk about, LD. Something troubling. Yeah. Like what?
What?
I wasn't truthful. I was holding that flesh for someone. This is an original, Sammy. Why do you have god flesh? I was asked to store it for someone. It was Witness. Why did Witness ask you to store the flesh? He came to me and said he needed it to be stored. Didn't tell me anything else. And you just accepted it? I didn't know what it was, did I? He just gave me a box and said it needs to be kept a secret for the good of the syndicate. It strike you as suspicious? Witness is an old friend. You'd do anything for old friends, wouldn't you? Suspicious as hell, Sammy.
What?
That's the truth, isn't it? I have no idea. You told me about you guys wanted to leave the
Is
syndicate.
this a joke, LT?
She told you that? Can't break the bond of friendship, can you? I think you want to tell me. We're all friends, Sammy. Can you tell we're ready to move on? More world out there, isn't there? More to see and more to learn. More whiskey. Ingredients, you're right. Don't be lie to me. He paints us in a bad light. We're not council killer. We just want to explore the world. You understand, right? This doesn't look good, Sam. I'm thinking about something here. Was it Witness that had what was his name? Blood of that one council member. I think it's time. Let's go in. Witness. What's his name? Didn't Sam have the blood vial? I mean, the blood vial was inside of... Oh yeah, it was taken from Doomjazz clinic. Here's the thing though, it wasn't the dead zone. Kafka, yes. It wasn't the dead zone, so technically Witness could have accessed that. Alright, notes. Let's see. Potential leads. Witness used to spend time with Carmelina in a secret bunker. Why? I think Carmelina knows more about Witness as she's letting on. I need to work on her. Who wears or used to wear a wedding ring? Who said he rushed straight to the marshal after Henry escaped? You speak with them in the barracks. The marshals? Can I actually do that? Crimson must know more about KHX. I need to get her to open up. Timeline. Love that is seduced by the god. Sequence 24. Paradise Island is born 10 years ago. Demonic corruption incident. Henry Division illegally communicates with the gods. Possessed by a demon. Kills the mother and Grace. Corruption taints the island. Paradise 24 is condemned. Preparation are made for 25. Henry's escape. Council are murdered. Henry is found outside the council building by Akiko. Convenient. No one else knows about that. Akiko informed Witness that Henry has been found and that the first seal guards are murdered. See? This is what I was saying. Akiko never said that the council was murdered. Akiko confirms to Witness that the holy seals are closed, so she couldn't get into it. The only question is why and how did Henry have council blood in his stomach? Is the problem with that? Doomjazz arrives to examine Henry and confirms that the blood in Henry's stomach is that of the council. That's Doomjazz. Could he have put that blood there? Doesn't he have samples for all of the council members? Hang on. Would that be just Doomjazz helping Akiko? What if Akiko and Doomjazz were sort of in it together? Or maybe not from the beginning, but maybe Akiko called on Doomjazz after she did everything. You know, she kills the guards to push her agenda about the militarization of the island, and then realizes, oh shit, hang on, the council is dead. If they find out, they're gonna blame me, so we're gonna have to pin it on Henry. Doomjazz, can you help with that? Sure thing, here's the blood. And that was the end of that. I need to know who was married. I don't think we can find it here. KHX was the one making the holy seals. That's why he was killed, probably. Hang on, was he killed after somebody figured out what the seals for the next islands are? Didn't somebody say at some point that it would be really important to know how to break through the seals after the island is done? I think we need to follow up on these leads. We need to figure out who was married. Although, you know, the only ring we saw in the game is literally just Yuri's ring. Oh, apparently we can talk to witness about something. Interesting. Well, I suppose we can go through the motion. We can talk to Crimson. She's the closest one. We can probably go to witness. See what he has to say. What is it that we're trying to get out of Crimson? KHX. Something about KHX.
Crimson acid.
And then we also need to do that with Carmelina. Tell me about your blessing. 19 Island
Thank
incident?
you.
It was a weird island from the beginning. Strange feeling in the air. Like it was a powder keg waiting to go. About 2 centuries into the demonic invasion happened. Communicated with the gods? Discovered an Eden cult in the apartment. Convinced themselves a passing comet was the god. They were amateurs but managed to reach out into space. The demons flooded in. Does this keep happening? Don't we ever manage to prevent this? Raise your mind, you can't stop insurrection in our society. The Syndicate never learn. You mess up doctor population and enslave them, they're going to act out. That's the secret to Perfect 25. Carmelina and Masahiro came up with psychic retardant material for the buildings. Never going to stop citizens reaching out to the gods. Islands have to be able to withstand it. You fought the fight and got blessed? Just a pretty face, lady. Akiko and the marshals were pinned down at the temple. I held the line at the council building. Akiko's never forgiven me. Convinced the demon general would go for the temple. I believed otherwise. After the battle, the gods blessed me, and I got this new head. So his time is over, lady. Glad I didn't charge you for this. Go say paradise instead of hanging around in a sewer. Damn it. I wonder if it's just a matter of frequency, or if what you say can influence the amount of relationship gain that you get from these people. Where am I going? Ooh, hang on. That's goodness. Can I get up there? I don't think I can. I have to go downstairs. Who knew that finding all the items wasn't actually the worst part?
Witness to the end.
The true grind begins now. My plans. Gods tended to us and raised us. Maybe I can hope to have some insight into the brilliance by tending to life myself. Following in the footsteps of the gods, in my own humble way.
The gods are watching
Glorious
us.
cosmic being that our human minds can barely comprehend. It's foolish to think that I may understand their brilliance, but I can understand more of myself. You know yourself, you can afford falling into sin. Keep that in mind. There's a sensitive matter that he wants to discuss.
Of course no.
Things happened while you were in exile, Lady Lovedice. Architect and I became close and we married. It was fucking Carmelina. It didn't last though.
What?
She is obsessed with the perfect island. There wasn't any room in her heart for me or the gods. I've been reluctant to tell you until now, but I'm worried about her. Her mind is not on the cosmos. What way? You believe that you should be rewarded for your craft? Not necessary. Craft is rewarded unto itself. Architect was like that as well, but dark clouds began to gather over her. Prayers were not as fervent as they once were. Felt her work was not being done in the name of our starborn masters. Began to crave more validation, more credit. Architects are island. Without her we have nothing. Our work is for the gods. They lifted us up and we must do the same for them. Personal reward is a sin that pushes us from the light.
This island is full of
I
sinners.
fear she has forgotten this. Thank you. That's crushing evidence. Carmelina was there. She sent a message to Akiko, get out of the room. Were you and Carmelina married 25 years ago? No, we had fallen apart a few years before that. Why'd you ask? Apparently she went into isolation for a year about 25 years ago. I remember that. I have no idea what she was doing. She likes to lose herself in her work. Said she was working on a project and didn't want to be disturbed. Was full isolation unusual? A little, but I didn't pay much attention. Syndicate's fall from grace was a bigger concern. Did she isolate? Hang on, we have a problem here. 25 years ago, no, we had fallen apart a few years before that. Ah, so why would she wear the ring 10 years ago? Always built herself little hideaways on the island, places she won't be disturbed. I don't know where it was. Why did you give Sam a piece of the god flesh? He tell you. You're first.
What?
I needed somewhere to store the flesh. I'm worried that there are people in the syndicate that would sabotage my research. Who? Nothing concrete.
Sure.
And why? Lawful nickname, Perfect 25. Desire for perfection now. Don't want someone proving the council wrong. You didn't use it with Sam to breach the 4th Holy Seal? This is the first I've heard of it being used with the 4th Holy Seal.
Don't test me.
We'll see about that. Sam? Yeah, I need to speak to Carmelina. Oh, shoot. I mean, what I'm really trying to say is that I should probably go. But this is like an addiction at this point. I need to know more.
Halt!
Architect Carmelina Silence.
How can I help, Lady Lovedice? This island has an air of quietude. Indeed it does. There's a balance here. Where does the balance come from? Positioning of function creates form. Functions of the island are arranged as a diamond on a compass. Everything has a place only it can have. That is apparent. An architect that is sacred to a function, scared of function and tries to hide it away is a coward with narrow tastes. What do you mean? It is not happenstance that I chose to expose the workings of the island. For example, electricity meters on the side of buildings are not hidden in a more form, fitting hatch or closet. They're exposed and allow us to appreciate their function. If we can find function visually appealing, we have grown.
Craft is its own reward.
Circumstances you find yourself in are, of course, terrible. I do hope you enjoy your time exploring this island. I had a lot of fun. Thanks. Can we discuss something delicate? I don't know if this is relevant, but I will disclose it. Midnight Witness was fiddling with his phone.
Got it.
Ah, I know it. Night was when the council were murdered. In the middle of conversation, he abruptly took out his phone and started using it. He was tapping at it for a few seconds. Did he step out of the room? No, why'd you ask? He wasn't making a call. If it wasn't one that was answered. Did he say what it was about? No, he acted like nothing happened. Thank you. Ah, that was not helpful. Okay, when did your marriage with the witness end? Why are you asking? Working on something? I assume you cooperate? About 9 years ago. Okay, then that fits. Absolutely fits.
Sure.
And you wore a wedding ring? Of course. What's this about? Thank you for your help. I got you, bitch. How long has Yuri been her assistant? She could have absolutely ordered Yuri to create a demonic invasion. You know? Yuri steals the books from the library, gives them to random guy Henry, which is not random, he's the bastard of Kiwami. Couldn't have that. She already had a child with Kiwami. So Henry got possessed, kills her mother, they capture him, and then she kills the exorcist. Why? Why was the exorcist a problem for Carmelina? Is it because she knew about the plan she had for keeping the demons out of Perfect 25? Maybe Grace wanted to do something about it and Carmelina couldn't have that happen. So killed her herself, took the blade from Akiko, carved the seals to make it look like it was Henry. And then orchestrated the entire council murder. Next time, I really want to try and figure out if Carmelina had access through the seals. Wait, hang on a second. She did not need access at all. She had a door made directly into the council chamber. What if all the bullshit with the seal is just misdirection? Just needs the fourth, not even. I think the fourth seal was behind the door. Besides, she didn't need to. Even if it was before the fourth seal, Dainonigate had like godflesh used to his body. Dainonigate could easily get through the fourth seal. Was that preparation for the murder? I would like to know how KHX fits into all of this, you know? Do you think KHX made... If KHX made, the door, the corridors... Could he be one of the few people to know about the secret corridors? Why else would they kill him? Also, you know, another victim of Yuri, Carmelina's assistant.
Don't get in, Jazz.
I've got all the time in the world.
I think Last Forever accepts
you.
the certainty of change. What in philosophy now? Please. Song on a skatepunk compilation. Trying to trip hop last time I was on the island.
It's been wonderful to see you
Like to
again.
mix it up, keep it fresh. Like with your women. Citizen boy abducted from the real world had it with him. What else? Other phases I've missed. We're big into mathcore for a while. Mathcore? Was drinking a lot of coffee and Mexican hip hop. That sounds cool. But everything that's wrong with these islands, at least have a lot of different people here. A punk is this island's flavor. Hopefully we'll abduct someone with some more CDs for Perfect 25.
Theoretically,
You'd think a massive oppressed citizen would mean there was more punk music on the island.
I don't like this.
Well, not allowing them to access the instruments or any real means of creativity probably hinders that. You think there are so many murders in the apartments? Montserrat always said you can't build pyramids without slaves. Not enough pyramids. I agree. Catch you later, dog. So, I need to speak with the marshals. We have just Carmelina, Akiko, and Crimson. Okay, I have to do something just before I leave. And then I'm gonna go. In fact, I'm gonna take my pill now. Before I do that, but I need to fix the marshals. Where am I going? Is this right? Is it though? Yes, it is. I can see it. My screen glitch. Oh, this is permanent, huh? Okay.
If you want to live, stay back. If you want to live, stay back.
If I cannot talk to the marshals, the only way... They said something about the marshals at the barracks. It could be that I have to talk specifically to the one near the barracks. I know there's one at the gates, and there's also one right over here. Where the hell am I? Maybe it's this guy. Okay, it's not him. Where are the barracks then? I need to go. What am I doing? I cannot stop, guys. I have a problem. I miss Shinji. I think I found all the Shinjis around. Okay. On top of the barracks. There it is. This is the one I wanted.
This is a restricted area.
I want Akiko's phone records for last night. They're classified. I'm the investigator. Grand Marshal Akiko's our leader, not you. What do you want? You see Akiko on the night of the murder? Yes, she returned here after Henry escaped. Got a way to prove that? A word is all you need.
Crime cannot hide.
Hard to believe the word of a Grand Marshal's loyal troops. Alright. So no phone records, nothing. You know, I would really have liked if the game had me go to Judge and tell him, hey, Akiko refuses to give me the phone records. I want full authority. Because she's hiding things. And he was like, yeah, sure thing. Here you go. But no. Bastard refuses to speak with me now. Like, come back when you're done. It's either go to trial or get out. Fine. Oh, we'll go to trial soon enough.
Crimson acid.
Just have to farm more reputation with more relationships. Why is no one else blessed? Gods work in mysterious ways. Depends on who catches their eye. What do you really want to talk about? You're not here to shoot the breeze about divine blessings. Hitting your highs. Can I ask you about Isaiah?
Thank you.
I was wondering whether we get to the ex-husband topic. What do you want to know? What are you doing now? He's still responsible for the citizen management, abduction, reconditioning, distribution. Yikes. Is he happy? Sorry if this is a heartbreaker, but he's with Madame Complex now. The garden tender? The very same. She lost Gregory on the 18th island when he repaired their timelines. A couple of islands later, she had a night out with Isaiah at the bar knife through the heart, and the rest is history. But is he happy? You asking if he still pines for you? No? Not that. Sure, if you say so. Yes, he's happy with Madam. He's on the next island, one of the lady's first pickups last night. Not a lot for the citizen manager to do once the slaughter is completed. I'm glad he's not a suspect. Time to move on, lady. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, lady, I have something for you.
Got it.
You've got it wrong.
I told you about the key from KHX. I can tell you another part of the story. Been worried about what's going on, but you need to know. I seduced KHX for my own interest, but someone else asked me to do it as well.
That's strange.
Who? Witness.
Sure.
I have
Why?
my ways.
He wanted the key. I don't know why, but he asked for it. He wanted it modified for remote access. A dongle could be placed in a control panel, then used to remote access it. In a line of sight though, that amount of data could easily drop packets if the signal was blocked. Did you give it to him?
Your truth
Yes.
is
Why?
wrong.
He promised to help me.
Ooh.
With
The
what?
Don't be coy.
He said he had a plan for the next island that would allow me to keep my freedom and allow me to return to active service.
I have a
Crimson.
bad
I
feeling
know.
about this.
I didn't expect it to be this. If it was him. This was him.
Is this a fact
This is the truth?
or a truth?
Yes. Got some work to do. Oh boy. Don't tell me that she acquired the key to the second seal from KHX, but did it on behalf of Witness. Gave Witness the key. I don't think this is for the council murder. I think this was meant to happen when he went through the seals to get the demon inside. So maybe the witness pressured her to get the key that unlocks the second seal. Just wanted to know about the second seal. I still think it was just for the demon, you know. Just wanted Crimson Knight to see. Okay, yeah, we have a new question for Witness now. Well, that's gonna happen next time because right now it's late and I want to go to sleep. But hey, I never saved tonight.
Game saved.
Holy shit. That realization almost killed me. Well, guys, I really would like to say I'm gonna alternate and go to a different game, but I feel like I have to play this now until I finish it. I cannot stop. So yeah, you can expect more of this tomorrow, but thanks so much for watching. I will probably stop on Saturday though, because that's likely going to be the cooking stream. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see you around, yeah? Goodbye.